Good morning and welcome back to my channel. In today's lesson we'll discuss the 6th unit of Advanced Grammar in Use, Present Perfect Continuous and Present Perfect. Let's jump right in. To begin with, we'll take a look at the reminder block A9, A12, A16, A17 to make sure that we do remember what exactly Present Perfect and Present Perfect Continuous are. We use the present perfect to talk about past action, event, or state when there is some kind of connection between what happened in the past and the present time. Often we are interested in the way something that happened in the past affects or is relevant to the situation that exists now. We can't give a meeting because so few people have shown any interest. They haven't shown any interest by now, and this is important now. It was an action in the past, and we don't know when exactly it was. It doesn't mean anything now, but the fact that now we can't give a meeting, we can't have a meeting, this is what's important. So we use present perfect. However, the connection with the present may also be that that the action happened recently with a consequence for the present. My ceiling has fallen in and the kitchen is flooded. Come quickly. This action has been done recently, and now I have the result, something which I must cope with now. The kitchen is flooded and I have to do something with it now. The result by the present moment. Next, however, the connection with the present may also that it continues until the present time. We have belonged to the tennis club since we moved here. We moved here, for example, 6 months ago, and we have belonged to the tennis club for 6 months since we moved here. I think we can think about the results by now, which is the quality of months. For example, since we moved here, it was, for example, 6 months ago, and the result by now is 6 months. Or you can just remember that we use present continuous for these type of actions, like something which continues until the present time. Okay. Or that a repeated event in the past may or may not happen again. Lee has represented his country on many occasions and hopes to go on to compete in the next Olympics. He has done it not recently, earlier, and the result by now is maybe 4 times he has done it. I think it can be quite clear. Next, present perfect continuous. The main difference between perfect and perfect continuous is the word continuous, which is about a progress. This is something long, a long action, a long event, and in the present perfect continuous, we will often see the duration of the action. We use the present perfect continuous to talk about an activity in progress in the past for a period of time, for a period until now, which is still in progress. For example, since the operation 2 months ago, Samuel has been learning to walk again. He can already take 1 or 2 steps unaided. Unaided means without any help. This word comes from the French word aider is a verb and aide is a noun, French noun. This is in English like aid, unaided, without any help. And he has been learning to walk. It started some time ago. He is doing this now, and he will be doing it in the future. And for a period until now, which is still in progress, or has recently finished. Your eyes are red. Have you been crying? My question is not the same as have you cried. Have you cried is about without any emotions, without any duration. It's just a fact. But have you been crying? Maybe I can add for some time, for 2 hours, for 3 months. Okay, have you been crying? A really long action. We use the present perfect continuous to express the idea of an activity in progress until recently or until the time of speaking. It may continue beyond this point. Have you been walking in the garden all day? The duration, you look exhausted, very tired. She's been writing the book since she was in her 20s, and at last, the synonym it at least, finally, it's finished. So, these two actions were begun some periods of time ago. They are continuing now, and maybe they will be continuing in the future. Note that we often use time expressions to say how long the activity has been in progress. We don't use the present perfect continuous with verbs such as belong, know, like, dislike, and understand that describe unchanging states. I think it's quite clear that we don't use the continuous tense with state verbs. We have already discussed it maybe in the first or in the second unit of this book. Have you known each other for long? And we cannot use present perfect continuous now because this is just unchanging state. I or know this person or don't know. I can't stretch it somehow. I haven't liked ice cream since I ate too much and was sick. I haven't liked I or do like or I don't like. I can't change it like now I am liking an ice cream. It's very strange. When we talk about situations, generally characteristics or circumstances, the action, then consequences. Existing up to the present, we can often use either the present perfect or present perfect continuous. For example, we've been look forward to, wait for with the desire. We've been looking forward to this holiday for ages, or we've looked forward to. We can use both and the past present perfect and present perfect continuous here, because here we talk about situations which are existing up to the present moment. If we want to emphasize the duration of it, we have to use perfect continuous, and if it's just about a result, then present perfect. Next, we often use the present perfect or the present perfect continuous to talk about something that has recently finished if we can still see its results. I think I have to remind you that always when we talk about perfect, we talk about the result. However, we generally use the present perfect continuous with verbs that suggest extended or repeated activity. For example, he has broken his finger and is in a lot of pain. Not he has been breaking, because here we can't see any duration. We can see only the result of it. I have been playing squash and need a shower. More likely than I've played, but it's still correct. I've been playing, and the result with that I need a shower, but I have been playing maybe for 3 hours. That is why I need a shower. The duration is quite obvious here, I think. We use the present perfect continuous rather than the present perfect when we draw a conclusion from what we can see, hear, etc. We often use its form to complain or criticize. Who's been messing around with my papers? They're all over the place. Who has been messing? I am irritated. I am annoyed about it, by it, and now I want to know who has been messing. I don't think that I am interested in only the result. I mean, who was in the process of messing. Next, I've been eating chocolate. You've been eating chocolate, haven't you? There's some on your shirt. You have been eating chocolate. The negative connotation, and what's more, it wasn't suddenly. It wasn't sudden, it was very quick, it was very long, it was very. The person was eating and enjoyed it, and something like that. Here we have to use the present perfect continuous. But if you don't remember, for example, present perfect here continuous here, you can use just present perfect. You have eaten chocolate, haven't you? It's still correct in this case. When we talk about the result of circumstances or an activity, we use the present perfect rather than the present perfect continuous. When we focus on the process, we often use either the present perfect or the present perfect continuous. For example, prices have decreased, increase, decrease by 7%, not prices have been decreasing by 7%, and prices have been decreasing recently. By the way, in my Telegram channel, you have to find the difference between decrease and decrease, increase and increase. Have been decreasing recently, or prices have decreased. In the first sentence, we can't use continuous form because we can see the numeral, which is about just the result. But in the second sentence, we can see this recently. It's like a tendency. They have been decreasing, it's in progress. This is a process. Then I've used 3 tins of paint. Tins, like cans, but well, for paints. Maybe not for them, for the fish. Yeah, tin and can, metallic things. I've used 3 tins of paint on the kitchen walls. Not I've been using 3 tins of paint on the kitchen walls, and I've been using a new kind of paint on the kitchen walls, or I've used. In the first sentence, we can see the result, which is 3 tins. 3 tins. Just 3 tins. Without any the duration of these tins. I can't even imagine the duration of using 3 tins. It's very weird, strange, odd. But I've been using a new kind of paint means that I was using them, I am using them now, maybe I will be using them in the future, and this is very long, this is very stretched, and this is about a process. Or we can use I've used okay here as well, because just a fact, a new kind of paint, that's it, without any duration, why not? Next, the present perfect continuous emphasizes that an activity or ongoing and repeated, while the present perfect suggests the activity happened only once or on a specified number of occasions. For example, Miguel has been kicking a football against the wall all day. He has been kicking, not he has kicked, because it was all day, the duration. Then he has played for the national or national. A question to you, because yesterday we discussed these points, and this is very important that we have to say nation, but national, yeah. He has played for the national team in 65 matches so far. Not he has been playing blah 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 blah, because 65 matches. I think it's clear. Compare. The workers have been calling for the chairman's resignation, emphasizes a number of times, probably over an extended period. And workers have called for management to begin negotiations like discussion, maybe conversation between two sides about new working conditions, for example. So In our nowadays, we can see a lot of negotiations between 2 or 3 presidents on the TV. Negotiations on pay maybe a number of times or only once. One more time. They have been calling a number of times, probably over an extended period of time and so on. It was very long, but have called just a number of times. They have called. Next. The first exercise, complete each pair of sentences using the same verb. Use the present perfect in one sentence and the present perfect continuous in the other. Use negatives form where appropriate. I think you have had enough time to do it only by yourself, and now we can discuss this exercise together. Martina Gonzalez has been staying in a re-tenanted flat since returning to Buenos Aires, or she has stayed. It's also possible here because it was recently. It has been continuing for some time, and now maybe she's there now, maybe not. We have stayed at this hotel a couple of times before. A couple of times before means that we have only 2 times of it in our life story, and now it's just a number. There is no connection with the process. All day the police have been stopping or have stopped motorists to question them about the accident. All day means that we should use have been stopping, but if this just about a result, have stopped maybe, why not? Good, the noise has stopped. I can start concentrating on my work again. It has stopped by now, and this is only about the result because it has stopped and now I can concentrate only on my work and so on without any duration. Next, I haven't read. By the way, pay attention to this word. We don't use it like read because read is the first form, and present perfect continuous is about the third form. Present perfect have has and the verb in the third form. The third form like ed or the third form of a regular verb. So read, 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 and haven't read, have read. Haven't read any of Dickens' novels. Just I haven't done it. That's it, without any duration. But I have been reading, or I have read this book on astrophysics for hours, and I'm still only on page 6. I have been doing it for some time. I'm doing it right now, and I will be doing it in the future. So present perfect continuous. Next, Dr. Fletcher has been giving or has given the same lecture to students for the last 10 years. For the last 10 years, very long period of time. I think present perfect continuous is more appropriate here. But if it's just about a fact about him, in his biography maybe, why not? So present perfect. Mr. Stato has been, has given nearly £1 million to the charity this year. Charity, when you give something for charity, means that you just give this money to somebody, maybe not money, and you have nothing from it. You just give them, and people use them for their needs, and so on. And what he has given, this is about a result. £1 million. £1 million. That's it, without any duration. I did 20 lengths of the pool today. 20 lengths, like to and fro, 20 times. In the pool, swimming pool. Today I haven't swum that far since I was at school. Since I was at school means that this is only about effect by the present moment. And I have been swimming and I feel exhausted. I have been swimming. It was very long and that is why I'm so tired now. This is the result of a very long action. In recent years, companies have been putting or have put increasing resources into internet marketing. Maybe we can use not maybe, we can use present perfect and present perfect continuous, both of them in this case, because if we're looking at this situation like they started doing this in the past and they are continuing doing it right now and they will be doing it in the future, so a long action and present perfect continuous. But if it's just about the results of it, like it's my report and I want to tell that our company has used this and this, so they just have put. Why not? And next, in recent, the South African coal. This is black. When the wood is fired, and after that you can see the coal. Уголь company has put the Cavaton mine up for sale. They just have done it without any duration. An important file has disappeared from my office, and now I can't find it without any duration. Present perfect. Plants and vegetables. Plants British, plants American. And vegetables have been disappearing or have disappeared from my garden since we had new neighbors. We had new neighbors and they have been stealing our fruits and vegetables and plants and so on. And this is something irritating. Then present perfect continuous, or they just have disappeared like a result by now. Next exercise, and before we start doing it, let me remind you that this book and the other book we are discussing on this channel now, grammar in use, vocabulary in use, anything, are not useful for you unless you practice it in your speaking, in your writing, in your reading, and so on. And if you want to speak it, I invite you to my individual online English classes when you can practice all of this stuff in a very cozy, comfortable atmosphere with the plan of our course, our classes, and together with me we will discuss everything. So, the next exercise. Here are two views on the government's announcement that it is to cut the money it gives to the Influenza Research Center. If necessary, correct the present perfect continuous verbs using either the present perfect or past simple. And let's get started. Dr. Petra Adams, the director or director of the center. It's remarkable to think that since 1950, influenza not has been claiming but has claimed more than 50,000 lives in this country, and in 1957 alone around 6,000 people died instead of have been dying. One more time, why? Has claimed because we can see only the number of it without any without any protest, without any duration, but the number of lives. And here past simple because it was in 1957. But over the last 20 years we at the center have been making or have made considerable progress on understanding the illness. We have been making, if it is continuing right now, it will be continuing in the future, and have made if it's just about a report and we're talking about a result. We illness like disease. By the way, what about the other words? Oh, I think they are easy. We not have been producing but have produced over 100 books, because 100 books without any duration, and articles reporting to the results of our research in 2012, they not have been awarding, but they awarded the national prize for medicine to one of my colleagues. And why just awarded? Because here we can't see any duration. One more time, it was just effects in the future. In the future, yeah, past simple, past perfect, past future. Okay, just the fact that in 2012 they awarded the national prize. In one more recent work, we have been looking or have looked into like investigate the effects of influenza on heart disease, and why have been looking if we are still doing it, and have looked if it's just a report. And we have also been exploring or have also explored a possible link between climate change and the recent increase in the number of cases of influenza. Have been exploring if we're still doing it, and have explored if it's just a report. It is a tragedy that the government have or has made this decision now. Just a result, without any duration. And the next part, Sarah Khan, the opposition spokesperson for science. The previous government invested huge amounts of money into the center, and I think it's terrible that the present government has announced this cut when in recent years the number of cases of influenza has been increasing. And one more time, they invested huge amounts of money in the past, just in the past, maybe 10 years ago. The previous government made it so it was in the past and have no connection with the present moment. Then in the second, has announced this cut, just about a report, without any duration. In recent years, the number of cases of influenza has been increasing. This is in progress now. So present perfect continuous or has increased if it's just about a report. The center has been running or has run successfully for many years. If for many years is a result, present perfect. If for many years is about the duration, then present perfect continuous has been running. But this decision is just typical of this government. It has been neglecting, like ignoring, okay, or has neglected health research ever since it was elected. Result or process. And has been cutting or has cut back on spending on science generally. One more time, if it's just about a result, present perfect or present perfect continuous, if they are still doing it. Although the government says that the cut is necessary because the recent world economic problems, I have found evidence that they have been planning or have planned this for some time. I have found about the results, and they have been playing it for a very long period of time, and they are doing it right now, and they will be continuing it in the future. Present perfect continuous. Have been planning. Okay, I have. Yesterday, I spoke to the minister about this yesterday. Past simple. Yesterday, because of yesterday, and I demanding. I have also written, or I also wrote to the Prime Minister demanding that the decision should be reversed. I have also written a result by now, or I also wrote like yesterday. Yesterday I spoke and yesterday I wrote. It's up to you to decide. By the way, remember about additional exercise, the second part, page 236. You can find the student's book in my Telegram channel, and you can do them by yourself. You can find the answer keys at the end of the book. Thank you for being with me today. I hope this lesson was useful for you, and if it was, let me know about it in the comments. By the way, let me remind you one more time that if you don't practice all this information in your real speaking, in your real writing, in your real reading, this doesn't make sense to you at all. And that's why I invite you to my individual online English classes. Now I can let you go. Goodbye. See you next time.